I just want to be honest and real and say that I'm filming on this camcorder from 2010 because my microphone is this and it's connected to my phone, so I have to be pretty close to my phone when I'm filming. And for this video, I just didn't want to be so close to my phone. So it's vintage. Thank you. Hello, I'm Jay. Welcome to the video. I'm going to be decorating my room for Christmas and taking you along and telling you about my writing because I have been writing quite a bit and it's been going great. But I haven't been filming because it's like I needed some me time with my book. But I will be giving you updates right now. So this is my box of Christmas decorations. Oh, there's my government name on there. Yes. I'm going to be sorting, just so you know what I'm doing. This is my box. Like I said, I'm sorting my yes Christmas decorations and my no thank yous. Anyways, if you're new here, I'm Jay and I'm a literary fiction writer. I'm currently working on a book that I call on the internet the Shark Book. And so I finished draft 1, I think maybe it was September that I finished it. And I let it sit for a while and then I came back and I read it. And now I'm working on the revisions. And the revisions, I talk about it more in other videos. So look at them. Okay, this is a yes. This draft is it's so different from the first draft that it's kind of feels like a first draft because it's a rewrite. It is not a little edit, it is a rewrite. If you didn't see my other videos, just kind of in general, the reason it's such a rewrite is because the plot of the first movie, nope, I'm not writing a movie, sorry. I thought I was Louise there for a second. The plot of the first version of the book is just gone now because it's just not really what I like to read and I don't really know what was going through my head. Well, I know what was going through my head. Okay, I love myself. No need to talk down. But it was just this really kind of somewhat not believable plot. It was based in reality, but it was just, there were too many plot holes and I realized, this is a yes, at the core of my story was my main character and his best friend, their relationship. And I was kind of holding myself back from really exploring that in the first draft because I was like, oh, I need to make a well-rounded book with a plot and all this stuff. But then I was like, no, I don't. Yeah, my new draft is just about their friendship, basically. There's still a little bit of plot from the first book, but mostly it's just a character-driven book. So that leads me to my first update, which I'm sure everyone is just going to be so floored by. You know the mood board that I always put up when I'm like, the Shark Book? It does not really fit the vibes anymore. I mean, it kind of does. There's nothing on there explicitly that wouldn't fit, but it's more just that this is a picture of a millennial on the swings at Disneyland during Christmas time. It's gonna go in the maybe pile. The mood board, okay, tonally it doesn't feel like my new book. I made a new mood board. I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm gonna put it on the screen, but I'm gonna look at it so I can talk about it. Yeah, I made this last night. It is much more in line with the revision. As you can see, it's just a lot. The colors are more muted because the book is slower, so I think it worked. There's just a lot of friendship. And yeah, this just fits the vibe. And every one of these pictures specifically refers to something in the book. And I felt like my first mood board was more just the vibes of the book, but everything in there actually fits. I should probably be wearing this. What was I thinking? That is my new mood board that will come on the screen. Don't be alarmed. And then also kind of going along with that. So going along with my new mood board, there are a couple of songs that are very Shark Book. Also, I feel like it shouldn't even be called the Shark Book. Not that it's not still about sharks, but it doesn't really revolve around sharks anymore. But I'm still going to call it the Shark Book. There are still sharks in it. Yeah, there are a couple songs, like Pink Balloon by Samia. I think I've mentioned that song before or put it on the screen at some point. So it was already kind of in my mind. But with the new changes, it is just so perfectly my book. And then also Sparks by Coldplay. I have this routine where every morning I write in the car before work and I'll listen to music on the drive. Lately I've just been listening to Sparks over and over again and then getting to work and writing, and I just feel great about it. It's why I haven't been vlogging, honestly. It's just been me and the book, and I really like that. Oh, okay, I'm gonna finish going through this and then move to a different location because I don't want you girls to be bored. Okay, first things first, my bed. So I have Christmas pillows and such in here. I wanted to talk a little bit about just details about my book because I never share anything. I'm very vague. I was FaceTiming Kay the other day, and I was telling her little things about my book, and I felt like they were such small details that I wouldn't mind sharing, but she was like, wow, I never would have thought, because I just never say anything about my book. So I'm just going to give you a couple little details, but it's truly nothing, because I don't know you and I don't trust you and I can't tell you anything that important, but I just want to tell you a little bit so you kind of know something. Some of this stuff I might have mentioned before, and if you know that, that means you're a real fan and I love you. Yes, number one, my main character's name is Sawyer. He is a boy. Sorry. He lives in the Florida Keys. My book takes place in the Florida Keys, by the way. And he lives there. His parents are rich and they moved there in adulthood, and he was born there and lives there, and his parents they run a shark diving company, so he also dives with sharks. He is, for most of the book, he's 19 and 20. The book starts when he is, I think, 13. It starts with him and his best friend in middle school, and then it goes, for most of the book, he's 19 to 20, because my book is split up into 5 sections, and the middle section is the longest. It's probably like 50% of the book. And in that section, he's like 19, and there might be a birthday in there, so then he'll be 20. These are hideous. So when I say there's no plot anymore, there's kind of a plot. It's called Adolescence. Okay, ever heard of it? It is about him and his best friend growing up, basically, and there are some hardships. Okay? Yeah, and then when I said it's not really about sharks anymore, I just mean that there are still sharks in it, but it used to be kind of about, they were searching for this one shark. So it was about sharks, the plot, and now sharks are still involved and they are still important, but now they're kind of important symbolically for what they mean to each character individually and to what they mean for the friendship. So they're still involved, but I was talking to my sister about this, which I mentioned my sister in like every video, and she doesn't even watch them. She's catching up. She's gonna see this vlog probably in March. Oh, hi, Kaylee. But we were talking about it, and now the book doesn't really need to be about sharks. Like before, sharks were very integral to the plot. Now they are metaphorical. I mean, they're real, but they're symbolic. So it could really be a lot of different things. It just happens to be sharks. That's my truth. Okay, next things next. Obviously, we gotta decorate this Christmas tree. Okay, yes. So I have these ornaments from earlier, and then also these Squishmallow ornaments from Costco. Thank you, Costco. So now I just wanted to talk about how revisions are going, because they're going great. I talked to my last vlog how I was drafting and outlining at the same time, and I still think I'm gonna do that to an extent. But I stopped drafting because I felt like I was just in over my head. Just get anxious pouring a lot of time into something, thinking that it might change. And I felt like I didn't quite have enough going on in my outline to justify drafting parts of the beginning really cleanly. So I stopped. Let me show you. This is very exciting for me. I'm going to stand far away so you can't read anything, but I got a board and I'm outlining. Oh my God. I'm outlining with sticky notes, which is a dream. Each color is one of the different sections, and it's going great. I have the first section pretty much all figured out, but I left, so there's the setup, the beginning, and then there's, I would guess, the first kind of plot beat. In between there, I don't have everything figured out, but that's okay because I know where I'm going, and it's probably just going to be a couple thousand words of discovery drafting, which I'm fine with. And that's kind of the theme with all of the sections. I think I'll be ready to start actually drafting when I have all the major beats figured out, and then I can have little in-between stuff open for interpretation, because I think even if I plotted out every single tiny detail, I would just end up changing stuff anyways, so I don't need to have it super strict. I just need to have everything figured out. And some of the beats, what was I saying? Oh yeah, some of the beats on there, they're not actual plot beats. It doesn't say what happens in the plot, but I just know that a certain emotion needs to occur there. So I'm like, oh, make sure they have a discussion that touches on this feeling. And then I'm just going to wait till I get there to actually figure out what that should be, because I think it'll be more authentic. And yeah, I'm just more open these days to listening to the characters. Hello everyone. I have been plotting my book all day and it's been going great. However, I have been summoned to go do karaoke tonight, and this is a lesson for you all. You do have to go outside in between writing. You have to. I was gonna lie and be like, I don't feel good and not go, but the writing will always be there. But the stage is there tonight and it needs me. So I am leaving my beautiful book to go live my life, and then I'll be back. I realized I did not tell you my main character's best friend's name, and that is because I kind of made up the name. I love making up names for people, and it's a real name, but it's just unique, and I don't want to tell you. Oh yes, something I did figure out is the last line. I've never really had a last line or a first line. I still don't really have a first line. I'll figure something out. But I've never had a clear vision for what I thought the last line would be. I thought of this idea for the last line, and when I thought of it, it made me cry. And I wasn't even on my period, so that's how you know. And then I told my sister, shout out Kaylee once again, see you in March. But I told her, and she gasped and said, oh no, that's horrible. In a good way, because it's really just gonna get everyone. So I was really proud of myself, because I feel like I'm open to changing it if it suddenly doesn't fit, but I feel like it's something I'm working towards, and I think it's perfect. So I'm very excited about that. Shout out Jay, me. I'm getting close to feeling like I'm good on my outline and I can start drafting, but the last thing that I need to figure out is I have this character who is kind of what's it called? An allegory? What happened? She's an allegory. I think that's the right word. Sorry, Miss Hoffman, my English teacher, if that was wrong. But so I have my main friendship, and they're kind of the core. And then she just symbolizes what could happen when you kind of get involved in a friendship like theirs. I know that's kind of why she's there. She's also fleshed out and she has her own life and everything, but she, at the end of the day, is just here to symbolize. And I feel like basically I have an idea for a way that she could really symbolize what I want her to symbolize, but it's just very intense, and I don't know if it fits. It kind of feels forced, and I don't want it to feel forced. So I'm debating if I just have it be a little more subtle, or if I just cut her. No. If I just leave it open to when I'm drafting to figure it out. I think I want to get it a little more settled before I start drafting, but that's kind of the last thing. I think I'm going to start drafting in a couple days. Oh, we need garland. So sorry. We definitely need garland right now. Oh wait, we need something at the top. It's a really big... It's really long. Do you see that? Get down. Okay, the tree is done. I think it's stunning. I am really proud of this revision plan because, as we know, I changed a lot, so I killed a lot of darlings. But honestly, most of them weren't really even darlings because I didn't want them there, as I talked about in another video. So it was pretty easy, but there were a couple things, mostly just interactions between my main two characters and these emotional beats they were hitting that I loved, and I thought they were so good and hard-hitting, and I had them in my outline. And then I would notice a section wasn't working for some reason, and come to find out it was this amazing scene that I wrote that doesn't really make sense anymore because the context surrounding the scene does not exist anymore. But I loved the scene so much, I didn't even think that I would ever cut it, because it's like, oh, I love this part, of course it will have to carry over. There were certain parts where one of them would be like mad. I just love when my characters fight. There were certain parts that I wanted my characters to be mad. They kind of fought a lot more in the first draft. And now Sawyer's best friend is a lot more, just I guess more patient, and there's not as much fighting. And I really liked a lot of the fights. And there's still going to be some drama, but it's more sparse. I'm looking at everything I have now, and I'm really proud of it because I cut a lot of things I liked, but I like the story overall more with those things gone. And I just think it's great that they're gone, and that I knew that they had to be gone, and that I did it because I was very brave. Okay, I'm gonna do one more section of my room and then stop. Okay. Last but not least, I will be tackling my desk. Let me move my amazing board. The last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is my reading. Let me show you what I'm reading first of all. This isn't really what I want to talk about, but just so you know, I'm reading The Story of a Lost Child by Elena Ferrante. This is the 4th book in the series, and it's the last book in this series, and I don't know if you guys are on this, but it's translated from Italian, and it's the story of these two friends. It's so good. I feel like because it's translated, there's turns of phrases in here. No, turns of phrase. There's turns of phrase in here. The way that a lot of these feelings and the dialogue, the way it's all phrased, it just is very unique and it makes you think, so you should read it. I wanted to talk about my reading because I was looking at how much I've been reading for this year. Yeah, I just realized I wasn't reading as much as I was last year, and it's because I'm so picky about what I read. Because I have this terrible fear that if I read a bad book, I will be bad at writing. Right now, because I'm plotting my book, I'm so scared that if I read a book and the plot is bad, that I'm going to subconsciously make a bad plot decision, but I'm not going to realize that it's bad. And then my book will be horrible and then I'll fail. So I'm so picky about what I've been reading. What have I been reading? I reread Normal People, which I read like a month ago. And I just read it again. And I've never read a book, so I've never done such a thing. But Normal People is very, not stylistically, but just kind of content-wise, it's very similar to what I'm doing. Not really. It inspires me. So I read it and I like it. So I was like, okay, this is a safe thing to read. Because I picked up like 4 books from the library and I DNF'd all of them within 10 pages because I was like, no, this is horrible. I don't know. I used to read, I'm not really a big romance girl, but I used to read romance books just for fun. And now I don't read for fun at all. If I want a fun little lighthearted story, I'll watch a show, but I will not read a book unless I feel like the voice is, it's not even trying to be like, oh, the voice isn't good enough, but it's just not, I don't want to read a voice that's not the voice that I'm going for, or at least a voice that I would somewhat want to emulate, because then, yeah, I'm just so worried it's going to influence my writing, because in my first draft, I can totally see all the parts where I was reading a certain book and then the style kind of seeped into my first draft. There are a couple of moments, like I was reading another book in this series, and this has a very kind of wordy style, and that started happening in my draft, and like things like that kept happening. So I'm just very scared of that, especially because I'm holding this draft to a higher standard. I think I should be able to get this draft closer to a finished product. I kind of am considering it a different book, kind of. It's still the shark book, but it feels very different. And my first attempt at the shark book was way off, but I'm hoping my second attempt is obviously not way off. And so I'm very particular about what is entering my brain. I keep looking at my bookshelves and I just want to reread books that I know I can trust to go into my brain, but I also want to read new things because obviously new things are inspiring, but it has not been going well, the new things that I've been choosing. Yeah, this is not uncommon for writers to find it hard to read for fun, but it's really bad right now. I cannot just read a book and get lost in it at all because if there's a sentence I like, I can't just be like, wow, that was great. I'm like, how'd she do it? And then I have to go, and sometimes I go in my notes app and then I write that sentence and try to figure out what it's doing and then do it myself a couple times. Like, it's like homework reading these, which is great, and I think it has benefited my writing style, but that's kind of where I wanted to wrap this point up, is that I feel like my style is getting stronger and it's more distinct, and I don't think I have to worry so much. Ooh, I should read Perks of Being a Wallflower again. I'm going to. Okay. Thank you for watching. Will you marry me? Thank you for watching this amazing video that I made. My next video will hopefully be a vlog. It's not up to me though, that's up to the Lord. We'll see. I've just been very exhausted emotionally, and yeah, I haven't really wanted to vlog. I've also just been loving writing so much and just wanting to keep it private. But I also want to document the journey, so I'm going to do it. Don't worry. I'm very excited to start drafting soon. I'm getting impatient, but I want to make sure my outline is solid before I jump in. Are my socks dirty? Okay. So far, I love every scene that I have planned, And I'm going to be very careful to make sure that if I don't love a scene, I just change it instead of letting it sit there, because there were so many scenes in draft 1 that I didn't like, but I felt like I had to put in there. And I don't have to do that. There might be something that I not have to, but that I really want to convey, like some sort of emotional beat. But if I don't like a scene, I really want to make sure that I change it and do something to it to make sure I love it. Brielle was talking about this, how she said something like she doesn't want there to be a blemish on her manuscript, and I feel the same way. And so far, everything is great. And when I was talking a little bit earlier, the character that is the metaphor, the allegory girl, I feel like her scenes that I have right now, I don't love. So that's why I kind of want to take a step back and just slow down and make sure I do like them. But yeah, I love my book. Every now and then I get this worry that no publisher would ever want this and that I should write Grace instead. That's my other working project right now. So I feel like Grace is more marketable, but I gotta write this book. I'll just be thinking about it all the time if I don't write it. So I'm gonna write it and then I'm gonna try to publish it. But even if I don't, I will have a book that I really like and that I can read. So thanks for watching. Comment down below what's going on with you. Love you. Okay, bye.